Thanks, Ernie. Game one in Indy. The 1-2 punch of Reggie Miller and Chris Mullin sparked the Pacers' largest playoff win ever, winning by 29 over the Cavs. In game two, Cleveland's big man, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, helped give the Cavaliers an 11-point halftime lead. But in the second half, veteran guard Mark Jackson led the Pacer comeback and a 2-0 lead in this Eastern Conference first-round battle. As the NBA playoffs continue tonight on TNT, and the scene shifts to Gund Arena here in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Cavaliers look to avoid a sweep here at home. It is game 3 of the best-of-5 first-round matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, along with Hubie Brown and Craig Sager. The Pacers can become the first team to advance to the second round in this year's NBA playoffs, and they know how to win on the road. 26-15, that was the best road record in the Eastern Conference. And Hubie, so far, Reggie Miller, the big gun who can take a game into his own hands, has yet to really explode in this series. Yet, the Pacers are up 2-0. How have they done it?
Well, I think you have to look at it, Dick. The offense is hitting on all cylinders. 6 players in double figures. The team is shooting 49%. They're only turning the ball over 9 times per game. And then how about the three-point scoring shooting? 39-6 after 2 contests. But they have 3 stars on the bench and in relief coming in and doing it. You have Dale Davis with 15 points, 8 rebounds. Then Jalen Rose coming in with 12 points, shooting 59% at either 2 guard or small forward. And then the Antonio Davis, their best interior defender, at 10 points and then 4 rebounds. Nice contribution by all concerned.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well, and Larry Bird has to like their play. The Cavaliers, meanwhile, have won both games against Indiana during the regular season here at Gund Arena, and Mike Fratello said the team was embarrassed in game 1. They responded in game 2. What kind of an adjustment do you think he'll make for game 3?
Well, I think he has to stay with his low post game. Kemp is averaging 26, Ilgauskas 21. They're getting to the foul line 33 attempts a game. We know 30's a lot. And then they've won the battle of the boards in both games. So where is the problem? The problem is in the perimeter game. You can see the 5 guards are only shooting 27%. The 3-point field goal shooting, 2 for 11, 18%. Now, this is a key area. They have had 9 shot blocks per game and 19 turnovers. So that means 28 possessions, the ball is not hitting the rim. Now, Dick, that's close to 1/3 of your possessions. That's where it must be cleaned up tonight.
And Hubie, that brings us to the point guard matchup that we talked about last week, and so far it has been no contest. The veteran Mark Jackson has had it all over the rookie Brevin Knight.
Well, I think you have to say that Mark is back to the rookie year when he was rookie of the year, and then also the second when he was an all-star. How about the 10.5 points, 10.5 assists? He's hardly turning the ball over. Now he's dominating Brevin Knight. You can see Brevin's stats are down, but the key, Dick, is that in the defense, Mark continues to back him down. They clear out one side of the floor, and then you must double team. It's opening up the perimeter game, and right now, they are making threes.
They are, and right now, let's get to hear what those 2 point guards had to say prior to game 3.
We take care of business. We play the way we're capable of playing, and we will advance and look forward to the next round.
Being back home, you hope your crowd gives you an edge like their crowd gave them an edge. So hopefully things will be on our side.
Here at Gund Arena, the starting lineups. First, the Indiana Pacers with Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller at guard, Chris Mullin, Rick Smits, Dale Davis up front. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have lost 7 home playoff games in a row. Hard to believe. Rookie Brevin Knight, Wesley Person at guard. Another rookie, Cedric Henderson, up front with Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who is a rookie, and Sean Kemp, who has been the big weapon for the Cavaliers. The officials are Dan Crawford, Ted Bernhardt, and Derek Stafford. Underway for game 3 here in Cleveland, with the Pacers needing 1 to move on.
Now, Cleveland has had a lot of success in screen and rolls, and also with Ilgauskas and Kemp down low, posting up in the painted areas.
Here is Kemp, and he is guarded by Rick Smits, and Kemp goes strong to the hoop, and Sean Kemp averaging 26 a game. And as Hubie mentioned, the game-high scoring leader on Saturday with 27, with an impressive 13 of 16 free throw shooting game. Reggie Miller gets it in low to Smith. Knight doubles, leaving Jackson open. Good ball movement by the Pacers. Rick Smits, however, misses from the baseline.
Well, Smits and Miller both are struggling with their shot at 38 and 39%.
Here's Wesley Person, and the crowd would have dearly loved, not to mention Wesley Person, if he had been able to connect on that first three. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, the Cavs have the home court, but they may not have the home crowd. Indiana's sixth man has arrived from Indianapolis. Players, wives, season ticket holders, the pay announcer, Dick Craig. Can you make a difference all the way up here?
We sure want to. We think we do. That's what we came for.
All right, there's about 300 of them up here, and they're spread all over the place. Back to Dick and Hubie.
Unfortunately, plenty of room. This is a disappointing turnout here at Gund Arena for this Cavaliers playoff game, their first one at home in several years. Brevin Knight lost it inside, and yet another turnover. Hubie chronicled the big turnover bugaboo which has affected the Cavs.
Yeah, with 19 a game, Dick, it's just too much. And right now you can see the reason why. They get down in the painted area, they turn it over, or they get the shot blocked. And when you say that the Pacers are averaging 9 a game, that is 5 above their yearly average.
Yeah, a lot of people think with that size that they are a good shot blocking team, but they were 20th in the NBA in that department, but they have come out strong thus far. Ilgauskas with a foul, and Rick Smits, as Hubie mentioned, shooting only 39% from the field. But his foot is feeling the best it has felt in quite some time in practice yesterday. So that's good news for the big Dutchman. Indiana looking to win, go home, and rest, and let Miami and New York fight it out. That series will go at least 4 games, and a veteran team like the Pacers would dearly love to have rest before the next round. Brevin Knight looking inside, and now here's Kemp. Kemp is guarded by Dale Davis, and finally puts up the shot. Mullen the rebound. Indiana doing it defensively in the first 2 games and starting out that way again.
Very underrated half-court defensive team. They're in the top 5 in the league. Now this matchup right here, you can see Jackson is bigger than Knight, 5 inches, and also about 15 pounds.
Not to mention 10 years versus a rookie year in the experience as well. And remember, Brevin Knight picked up 2 early fouls in game 1, which took him out of the game. Ilgauskas fires it up, gets a second shot and scores. Jadrunas Ilgauskas, and it's 4-1 Cavaliers.
You have to keep Kemp and Ilgauskas off the board. They both are averaging 4 offensive boards because they're running, Indiana's running big people to trap. Big man, leaving the Cavs open.
Reggie Miller, 36% shooting, despite the fact that he leads the Pacers at 18.5 a game. Ties the score.
Now, well, Reggie's up to his old stuff. When he's not shooting from outside, he's gotten to the line 9 attempts a game at the foul line.
Kemp from the corner. Sean Kemp hitting his second basket of the game. Kemp told his team, I've been part of a club that was up 2 and blew a series, and that was back in '94 with Seattle when Denver shocked the Sonics after losing the first 2 games. Here is Rick Smits on the screen and spot up, and the score now is even at 6.
Well, if you're going to trap, you've got to get to that in a hurry, mainly because that is Smits' pet move.
Underneath, Kemp has his shot blocked, and we're going to have a jump ball underneath. So Sean Kemp will jump. 8:40 remaining in the first quarter.
Now just watch it behind the back here right now. You're going to see it now that Mark Jackson is doing this quite a bit in this series. He's catching the double team before it arrives.
Wide open is Henderson, and he hits. So Cedric Henderson, 3rd leading scorer at only 8 a game. Remember, the Cavaliers have only 2 players in double figures compared to 6 for the Pacers thus far.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Cleveland, Dick, Indiana's shooting such a high percentage, and they're also getting to the foul line 29 times. So there are very few fast break attempts. So these young players, the rookies, the 3 Greyhounds, need the open floor to score. Now you're going to see it right here. They're going to catch him here with a little bit of a push, and they're not going to allow that. And this will be a problem if Brevin Knight goes out of this game again like he did in game 1.
Mark Jackson finds Chris Mullen. Mullen driving the baseline and throws the ball away. So an Indiana turnover, but you're right. The fouls, one of the rare things, we're looking at foul trouble more in the guard position for the Cavaliers than we are for the big people in a way.
Well, there's a major mismatch in size with Jackson and Knight. And you've got to like the coaching staff at Indiana because they are milking it.
Here is Brevin Knight, feeds inside to Kemp. His reverse layup is blocked. His follow-up blocks, but Ilgauskas, 3 chances at the rim for the Cavaliers. Last touch by Cleveland.
Now, the early going, you're Mike Fratelli, you're very happy because your guys are all over the offensive boards. Now this, he definitely should have put that down on the other side, the closest side to him. Instead, he came underneath. Ilgauskas always a threat at 7'3" in the long arms with getting the rebounds.
Here's Reggie Miller for 3, and the rebound taken down by Dale Davis. Davis then goes strong to the hoop and try to force the pass to Smith. Here's Knight, 4-on-2 break for the Cavaliers, and Brevin Knight lays it in.
He needed that. I'm happy for him. You like to see him get off to a good start, and you'd like to see Wesley Person do something other than take a 3-point shot.
As you pointed out, when the 3 isn't there for Miller, he'll go to the line. Not so for Wesley Person. Here is Mark Jackson, who left Brevin Knight on the floor, and Miller hitting a 3 for the Pacers, and the Cavaliers lead is down to 1.
Dick, you cannot flop in this game. You flop in this game with Reggie Miller or Chris Mullin, it's a 3. Boom, right in your face.
Here's the trap on Knight. Henderson, who hit his first, and Dale Davis getting position for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds by the Cavaliers, and a timeout with 6:42 remaining in the first. A 1-point Cleveland lead.
Now the Cavs must defense this play a little bit better. Now you're going to see the screen and roll with Smits. You'll see him come down here. Mark Jackson will give him behind the back. The rotator has got to anticipate and get there earlier. They'll see this play time and time again. See, mainly because Smits hits that shot well. Plus, if you play it man-to-man, Mark Jackson gets into the middle of the floor, and he's looking for Mullin over in that right-hand corner for a 3.
Mark Jackson has made some tremendous decisions so far in this series. Nothing unusual. Larry Bird, of course, marvels at how he distributes the ball, says he's as good as anyone he's ever seen doing that in the NBA. Larry Bird was very calm when the team was down by 11 in Game 2 at halftime. No ranting and raving from Larry, and the team responded in the second half. But you can do that with veterans. Inside to Dale Davis, guarded by Kemp. Davis with a turnaround and a nice touch by Davis.
Now they're going to him a lot. And I know that sounds, for guys who have been in this league a long time, you say, what do you mean? He's the first option? And the answer to that is yes. He's averaging right at 15 points, doing a great job on the boards, and shooting 75%.
Henderson rifles a pass. It's deflected, and Ilgauskas didn't have control, and he gets fouled. Fortunately for Ilgauskas, he did get fouled because he did not expect that pass.
You look at the Cleveland getting 33 foul shot attempts a game. And you can see right now, everything is down inside. Now they get a lucky bounce right here, but this is a very nice pass from Kemp. Now Kemp is averaging 11 foul shot attempts a game. Ilgauskas 6.
Ilgauskas, who is one of the 4 rookies, although he was a #1 pick 2 years ago, was out actually 2 years, including the year before he came into the NBA with foot surgery. So 2 years gone. Ilgauskas making an incredible splash, was the MVP of the Schick rookie game at the All-Star affair this year. Here is Smits with the Pacers leading by 1. Turnaround and illegal defense called against the Cavaliers. That is the first of the game. Next time it'll be a technical.
Well, the reason why Mike Fratello is a little upset here, he's laughing mainly because they're not double teaming. Ilgauskas has done a nice job playing Smits one-on-one in games 1 and 2.
Smits has yet to be a weapon for the Pacers, and he throws the ball away into the hands of Person. So here come the Cavaliers, who are looking to regain the lead with nearly 5.5 to go in the first quarter.
Nice.
Ilgauskas with the short jumper, and Ilgauskas has 4. So Kemp and Ilgauskas, once again the big guns, they have 8 of the 10 12 points.
His hands are incredible. Now, that was a tough pass. That was bam, and he not only made it, that is a tough shot that's about 6 feet away and no backboard to bank it in.
Jackson goes out to Smits, who hits. So Rick Smits putting the Pacers back in front by 1. Jackson already has 5 assists, and Mark Jackson averaging nearly 11 assists in the 2 games thus far. So he's picking up where he left off. Kemp looking for Ilgauskas. Henderson guarded by Mullin. Mullin doing a good job defensively, which he had been shaky a lot of times during the year. Ilgauskas with a hook shot, a windmill hook at the buzzer.
He's got it all. He's got the power game. He can hook with either hand. He gets down in there. He's excellent on the offensive glass and a very good foul shooter.
Smith's left open again hits, and you cannot leave Rick Smith's open because he'll pop that 18-footer.
Yeah, right now, see, Mike Fratello's talking to Ilgauskas right now. He's telling him, you cannot continue to leave to help, mainly because Smith is on a roll right now.
Sean Kemp working around Smith's. Here is Person's long-range shot in and out. That was a bad break for him. But Wesley Person, who took more threes than anyone in the NBA and made more this year, really coming up small at that area this playoff. 15-14, Indiana leading with exactly 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Jackson is guarded now by Cedric Henderson on the switch. And Knight comes down 5 on 2.
Nice.
And there it is. Sean Kemp as they finish the break. 6 for Kemp. And a back-and-forth game we have with the Cavaliers leading again by 1.
A smart decision. There was no way that the guard was going to defend Kemp if he took it strong, and that's what happened. Good decision.
Dale Davis backing in against Sean Kemp, and he gets the lay-in. So Dale Davis with his second basket.
I tell you, he's been impressive in this series, Dick. Now, 15 a game for a guy who's only averaged 9 throughout his entire career. But he's looking to score for the first time since he's been in the league.
Well, he did in the second half of the season as Reggie Miller is fouled by Brevin Knight. Or is it Person? It's going to be Knight, and it'll be his second foul. So that was a careless foul on Brevin Knight.
Now, this is a good drop-off to Ilgauskas. He reads the defense. He freezes both guys, and there's your windmill hook. You just wish that more young guys at the college level coming into this game can score with their back to the basket other than shooting a fadeaway jump shot.
So Brevin Knight now with his second personal foul, and it comes with 3:08 remaining in the first quarter as he fouled Reggie Miller.
Now this is a big foul. Naturally, your team is functioning well. You played almost 9 minutes. Brevin Knight is leading your fast break attack, making excellent decisions. Now here, as he goes through here, now just watch what happens. Now there it is, and now they're calling that he hit him in the knee and then caused him to stagger. That's the foul.
It's a 2-shot foul. He had a clear path to the basket, even though you did see a Cavalier on the upper part of your screen.
Well, I would argue that one all the way.
Because I didn't think it was so clear.
No, it wasn't, because Henderson was already back at the three-point line when Reggie Miller was staggering.
You wonder about that call, but Miller gets 2 free throws. And there's the Pacers with a 3-point lead, 19-16. But more important, Brevin Knight with 2 personal fouls. Derek Anderson has replaced him into the lineup for the Cavaliers, and it looks like Sean Kemp is playing like a man possessed. He has 8 points here in the first quarter as the Pacers lead is 1. Knight is out of the game, and Derek Anderson has come in for him.
Yeah, this is a difficult move by Fratello. Yeah, what they're saying now is that Anderson is going to run this club, and it's rather new to him, so you can't expect the same type of half-court execution.
Rick Smith with a good offensive first quarter. He has 10 points.
We always say about Rick, when his feet are okay and he gets 32 minutes in any playoff game, he can get you 25 to 35. Not too many guys in this league can do that.
Here is Kemp with 9 on the shot clock. Fades away and misses the shot, and Smith's the rebound. Here is the good outlet to Antonio Davis, and Davis is fouled. And Wesley Person committing the foul. The crowd wanted a traveling violation against Antonio Davis.
I think it was the right call, because he definitely fouled him when he made his move. You're always allowed to pick up your pivot foot as long as you shoot or pass.
You got to come and play with intensity every game, every minute. You got to cut down on your turnovers, your mistakes. You want to make as few mental mistakes as possible, because a team of that caliber capitalizes on them, and that's what they've done.
They sure have, and there you see the problem that the Cavaliers guards have had shooting-wise, looking at Anderson and Knight, the 2 rookies in the first 2 games.
Also, what Brevin Knight is talking about, the turnovers. The 19 turnovers has cost Cleveland 23 points a game. Now, when you think Cleveland is right in the top of the league in forcing turnovers, they're only getting 8 points a game from their defense. So we're talking, Dick, a difference of 15 easy points in the transition flow.
That's too many if you're going to contend in a series. Here is Antonio Davis. Jalen Rose has come into the game for the Indiana Pacers.
Well, Antonio Davis and Jalen Rose have been at the top of their games. Jalen Rose backing people down off the dribble, 12 points, shooting 59%. Antonio Davis on the boards, defending well, and then also giving you double figures in points.
Pacers have their biggest lead with 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Derek Anderson, and now he becomes the point guard, which is not a comfortable position for him at all. And Kemp goes in, and they're going to call the offensive foul against Shawn Kemp.
Yeah, now right now, this all started on Kemp's initial screen. Look to the left of your thing. See, now right there, they're going to call that. Now you're going to say, well, that's a flop. In the NBA, a guy should not be able to fall down that easily. Well, unfortunately for Fratello tonight, that's 2 very questionable calls.
Anderson, defending against Mark Jackson, has more size. But, of course, the experience is still the same against the veteran who's played 10 years. Having a great series is Mark Jackson. And here is Rick Smits. Rick Smits now 5 for 7 from the field. And the Indiana Pacers shooting 9 of 13 here in the first quarter. One of the better shooting teams came in at just under 50%, and they are 69% thus far in the game. They lead by 7. Ilgauskas misses a close-in shot, and Smits gets another rebound. So with 1:10 to go, the Indiana Pacers taking control in the first quarter, and the Cavaliers will have to come up and respond.
Well, this is a typical game.
Miller from Rose.
A typical quarter. They've played 8 quarters up until this right now. Cleveland has not scored 20 points in 5 of the 8 quarters. We're sitting on 18 right now with 54 seconds to go.
And a timeout with just under 54 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A 20-second timeout and a 9-point lead as Indiana on a 10-2 run to close out this quarter.
Now just keep a nice move. Now, good kick out by Mark Jackson. Ilgauskas too far away. We've been saying this. Smits is on the roll. You have to pay attention to the guy who is hurting you the most.
Now Rick Smits' feet have felt better. Now he has worn 3 different shoes in 3 different games, but the ones he is wearing tonight, unable to get the color black, which is what the rest of the team is wearing. So David Craig, the team's trainer, had to dye Rick Smits' shoes so they would match the rest of the teammates. 27-18.
Whatever he's doing, they should do it every game.
Can't dye his hair. That's one thing you can't do.
The big Dutchman looks great tonight.
Anderson looking inside, posting up his Kemp. The double team on Kemp. And here is Potapico, and he misses. And the fight for the loose ball. And Kemp loses it out of bounds. So Vitaly Potapico, who has struggled coming in as the backup big man, misses a shot from the free throw line.
The difference you can see now, you're watching one quarter if you have not seen games 1 and 2. One team is making all the perimeter shots, and the other team is just frustrated. Now there's a good kick out. You take the double team, guy gets a wide open shot. They cannot make the wide open shots.
Derek McKee replaces Rick Smits, who had a terrific first quarter. Jackson working his way around Anderson. Antonio Davis misses. And Derek Anderson with a 4-on-3 situation for the Cavaliers. And Cedric Henderson takes it home. The basket counts and a foul.
Excellent call. Down below the dotted line. The fans are happy because they feel that's the first one that was questionable that has gone their way. And you can see he was definitely below the dotted line. And then you just love to see Henderson finish. His entire game is like 7 feet to 8 feet down.
Antonio Davis with the personal. Kemp on the miss. And he converts. And all of a sudden it is a 5-point game. 27-22 as Indiana plays for the last shot of this quarter. So a flurry by the Cavaliers and the running game, which you never saw in Cleveland the last few seasons under Mike Fratello, but this is a new up-tempo style that they began this year. Time running down and the buzzer sounds, but Indiana with Rick Smits and Reggie Miller, 2 players who have struggled so far this year, have accounted for 21 of Indiana's 27 points. And at the end of the first quarter here at the Gund Arena in Cleveland, the Pacers looking to close out the Cavs, lead Cleveland by a score of 27-22. Start of the second quarter, and the Pacers lead by 5. Want to remind you that we have a blockbuster coming up next on TNT. It's Game 3 between the Suns and the Spurs from San Antonio, with that series all even at 1 apiece. Hubie, what do we have for this first quarter?
At the end of the quarter, Indiana shooting 67% from the field, 6 for 6 on the foul line, but they have 4 turnovers. Cleveland, 48% from the field, 4 offensive rebounds, 7 fast break points. This is something that they need. They've got to get the easy baskets. Second shots, transition game.
Travis Best comes in at the point guard, backing up Mark Jackson. Here is Antonio Davis up and under against Potapico. And here come the Cavaliers. They'll push it up if they can. Cedric Henderson. Out now to Derek Anderson, who played at Kentucky. He thought the NBA playoffs would be like the NCAA championship. He found out differently. Potapico wide open. And he's got to hit those shots as Rose cleared.
Yeah, he's had 2 of them. And, you know, it's interesting because he is a very solid shooter in that type of a position and also on the post. He's got to step up in this game and give this club some help.
Best with Reggie Miller, Travis Best, and here is Derek McKee with a hook shot, and Potapico gets the rebound. So Antonio Davis, Jalen Rose, Derek McKee, Travis Best, Reggie Miller for Indiana. Anderson rushes that shot, and the rebound by Davis. So that was a possession that was not well choreographed by the Cavaliers.
No, you can see that's frustration. That's a scorer trying to play the point and saying, I haven't had a shot since I've been in this game. And that was a force. You're right, Dick. You play inside out tonight because you can score down in there. It's proven.
Here come the Pacers, or the Cavaliers, who trail by 5. Antonio Davis missing that last shot. Leading scorers, Smits with 12, Kemp with 10. Kemp is on the floor right now. Rick Smits on the bench for the Pacers as we start the second quarter. Kemp is guarded by Derek McKee. Good defensive player. And there is a foul as the buzzer sounded. And McKee will send Kemp to the line for 2.
Now Derek McKee was on the all-defensive second team on 2 occasions. And he's long. He's 6'10", long arms. Now, he thinks he played him well. He got him up, but what they're calling is a foul down below.
Dale Davis has come in for Reggie Miller, who goes out with 9. So the backcourt now for the Pacers. Travis Best, the point guard, and Jalen Rose. Antonio and Dale Davis up front, along with McKee.
Now in games 1 and 2, Kemp was to the line 11.5 times per game. Now that is a bushel. In the NBA, if you get to the line 10 attempts in a game during a regular season, you're in the top 3 guys.
He got there 16 times in Saturday's game. 2 minutes gone by. We're in the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and Craig Sager. And on the turnover, here is Derek Anderson, and he lost control and threw it away. And here comes Travis Best with a 4-on-2 break. Here is Dale Davis, and Davis is fouled by Anderson. So the problems of the Cavaliers, Brevin Knight in foul trouble, and Derek Anderson playing out of control. Both rookies. Will be right back. All right, Ernie, good point as far as winning and resting. The Lakers trying to nail it down. Meanwhile, Seattle had a shocking loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, and that series goes the distance. If Seattle wins, the Lakers wrap it up. The Lakers have some breathing room themselves here.
Well, Seattle had trouble with small ball, and by playing Porter, you know, as a small forward, they did a great job in their perimeter game, and then Garnett did a terrific job at the center position for Minnesota.
That was their first playoff win ever. Of course, it's second year they're in the playoffs.
Only played 7 guys, rotated their people, did an excellent job when the pressure was on.
Jalen Rose guarded by Person. And there's McKee with a good move. McKee can fool you because he's in this for defense. But all of a sudden, he'll get some key baskets for you, and the Pacers are up by 6.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear about that. You're like kind of negating his years in the league of Seattle when he was always a 13 to 15-point scorer.
You know, you say the same thing about Ron Harper, and it's true when he was playing here, right?
Oh, sure. Come on, Ron Harper. 3 times in his career he averaged over 20 points. Now you can see McKee, he can finish. He's got a real good, solid game. He's a confident guy, but he's very quiet. He plays within the offense. Whatever you ask him to do, he'll do.
But he just hasn't scored a lot lately.
Well, you know, there are only so many shots on every team.
Kemp double team, leaves it out for Anderson, who misses. So Anderson misses from the perimeter, and the Pacers with a 6-point lead.
Now the guards are 1 for 5 right now outside.
Here's McKee again, air ball.
You got to get it out. You've got to push. You got to keep pushing here.
Derek Anderson. Person is yet to get on track from threes. He's hit the only 2 3-point baskets the Cavaliers have in the series. But Topico with a turnaround, and so the big guy finally scores, coming in averaging just under 7 a game.
Yeah, they need him. They need him with this unit, and any time that Kemp goes out of the game, he's got to step up and play big and give them points.
Travis Best looking inside for Dale Davis. Now on the switch, but Topico picks up Best. Here's Jalen Rose at the buzzer. Forced it up, and the shot clock expires. So the Cavaliers with an impressive sequence that time defensively.
Well, in the last 5 minutes, we're seeing the Cavs at their best. They're in the top 3 in the league in forcing turnovers. We're seeing that. We're seeing them at their best. But remember, when you have young players, they always play better at home. And you have 4 rookies here tonight, and all you're asking them to do is to feel comfortable to get your game together. Now, he didn't bounce it.
Yes, he did.
Oh, it was on the line.
It was off his foot.
He did not bounce the ball over half court, so that was good. They waited until the ball rolled out of bounds over on that sideline.
You saw Sean Kemp leave, leading with 12 for the Cavaliers, replaced by Bob Sura. Sura has seen action only in game number 1, guarding Jalen Rose. Kemp now is still in the game. Antonio Davis blocked, and McKee gets the basket. Not the way they drew it up on the blackboard before the game. So let's check the Cavaliers. They still have Anderson with Sura, Kemp, Potapico, and Cedric Henderson.
See, it's difficult when your point guard backs the ball up the floor, because when he's doing that, he's missing all the continuity and all the screening. Guys are open, but he can't see them because he's backing the ball up.
Kemp is surrounded, gets it out to Henderson, and a good rebound by Potapico to keep it alive with 5 minutes gone by. Sura throws up the air ball, and a foul is committed by the Pacers inside, and it'll be on Jalen Rose. So Bob Sura, like all of the guards for Mike Fratello, continues to struggle from the perimeter. The Indiana Pacers lead the Cavaliers 32-26 on Saturday night at 8 on TNT. Sylvester Stallone stars in Rocky. And following that at 10:30, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in Red Sonja. That's on TNT on Saturday. Only 5 teams have come back from a 2-0 deficit in the first round best-of-5 playoff. And that's what the Cavaliers face right now. And on the switch, they call Antonio Davis for the bump. And that is his 2nd personal foul.
When Brevin Knight is in the game and they run the screen and roll from the left side of the floor, they always get the roll man who's spotting up halfway down on that baseline. Whenever they use Sura or Anderson, the ball is late getting to the point. And you've got to understand that that's what makes point guards, that they can get the ball to the people when they're open, especially at playoff time.
Derek Anderson with a move to the basket. Cavaliers, that's been their best way of scoring. They have hit only 3 jumpers tonight from the perimeter, and they're down by 4.
Well, during the year, Anderson averaged 12 points a game off the bench, and he's a scorer. He's a 2 guard, and it's difficult when you put the pressure on them in playoff time to play perfect at the point.
Jalen Rose off the front rim. Here's
yes.
Anderson beating Rose.
Oh,
and
great
a foul call against Jalen Rose. He thought he had some ball, but the official was right there, and Rose picks up his 2nd.
Now here you go on the screen. You're going to see he splits the screen. Now remember, the guy who's responsible for the trap is the man coming on the trap. It's your job to cross and do not let that dribbler split the screen.
Derek Anderson, who is the 13th pick from Kentucky and missed 15 games with a sprained knee, and in fact had a jammed ring finger. Right before the season, second season started, those were his numbers, leading the bench scorers so far in the playoffs. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who got a good rest. Ilgauskas scoring 6 in the first quarter, is back in the lineup. He's in there with Potapiko. 32-30, the Cavaliers coming back after trailing by 9. Mark Jackson is still on the bench. Best still the point guard for Indiana. And here's Jalen Rose, forcing it a little more tonight than he normally does, and the rebound by Potapiko. Brevin Knight, who had 2 fouls and had to come out of the game, is in there, and McKee fouling Anderson. That is the second on Derek McKee.
Now, all that was McKee is such a good defender. He almost had to steal. Unfortunately, he could not stop, and he bumped the man out of bounds.
Pacers already in the penalty with their 15th foul with 5:42 remaining in the second quarter.
Now, Anderson during the year was 4th on the foul line percentage-wise, shooting a very high 87%.
And so far, he's perfect from the free throw line in this series.
You know, he was an outstanding player for 2 years at Ohio State, transferred to Kentucky, played 2 years there, sat out a year because of knee surgery. He's had 2 surgeries on his knees, but we're talking about a whipper, a guy who can really score.
He has hit 11 out of 11 from the free throw line in this series. Crowd, they didn't sell it out tonight, but you can hear them. They want to match the Market Square Arena enthusiasm that the Pacers enjoyed. Ilgauskas had a kickoff of Smith's. And with 6 on the shot clock, Indiana ball.
Brevin Knight is 2nd in the league in steals, and he's the one that dislodged the ball that hit off the knee of Ilgauskas.
4 on the shot clock. Travis Best misses it. And Potapiko the rebound. We're tied at 32, the Cavaliers. And remember, the home team has won every game these teams have played this year. 2-2 in the regular season. And the Pacers winning the first 2 at home in this first round. Anderson finds Potapiko. Nice feed to Ilgauskas, slapped away by Travis Best.
Great play by Travis Best. That was a sensational play.
He couldn't have anticipated that better. Smith's in the low post against Ilgauskas, trying to keep him away from the real low post. And Rick Smith's having a big shooting first half. Now has 14 points on 6 for 8 from the field.
He's using his experience and his body knowledge. He's backing in, he's giving a reverse move, then getting his shoulder into the chest of Ilgauskas, knocking him back, then taking the shot.
Brevin Knight gets the screen, finds an open space.
There you go.
And Brevin Knight, 4 points, one of the rare jump shots hit by the Cavalier guards so far tonight.
Now, this place is supposedly a morgue. Tonight, the fans are really into this game.
It would wake up the dead, no question about that. Smith's again, and he is on fire. 7 of 9 from the field for Rick Smiths, who has 16 points already.
Ilgauskas is hanging his head because he's getting beaten so badly. Listen, he's a great player, Rick Smiths. He's got to understand that. But you cannot continue to let him get a spot.
Brevin Knight on the miss. Smiths gets it to Travis Best. And they're going to call the blocking foul. And that will be against Anderson of the Cavaliers. That's only their 2nd team foul.
Now we're going to see a nice pass down inside. Now that's a great steal by Travis Best. Good block strip. And at this end, you're going to watch, you know what, he's going to give him his move. See, there's your bump. And as he knocks him back just a little bit, well, you say, yeah, it's only a little bit. But that's what gets the shot off over a guy who's 7'3" with long arms.
Jalen Rose hits from the perimeter. First points tonight for Rose as Mark Jackson has replaced Travis Best at point guard. The Pacers lead by 4. Sean Kemp comes back in for the Cavaliers, posting up against Dale Davis. And Davis doing a good job against Kemp. Well, not that good.
Well, you cannot front Kemp and then not jam the passer. That time the pass was made easily.
And the lead is 2 for the Pacers. 3:10 to go. This is a fast-paced first half, although the scoring doesn't quite show it. And Smith's trying to fire it away. It's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Cavaliers. Wesley Person will replace Brevin Knight in the Cavalier backcourt. Person still struggling, has yet to score tonight. did not score in game number 1. So they have sorely missed his ability to hit from outside. He has been blanked. Here's Rose, and Rose goes right around Henderson, but the buzzer sounds. 24-second clock expired before Rose could put it up.
That was terrific team defense, excellent rotation, and a solid call by the referee. We're going to show you fronting the post. Now this is Kemp. He's being fronted. Here's the ball right here. You see how the player is squared up? See, Jalen Rose has got to get his arms up and force the man to turn sideways, because right now the pass is too easy. It will be there all night long for layups for Kemp.
Derek Anderson with Wesley Person, Jadrunas Ilgauskas, along with Cedric Henderson and Sean Kemp for the Cavaliers, who trail by 2. Kemp finds Anderson, drives the baseline, and is fouled. Anderson will shoot 2 in an attempt to tie it up for the Cavaliers. Dale Davis picks up his second.
Well, Cleveland came out of that timeout, Dick, with a nice continuity. They used Person to back screen Kemp's man so that Kemp would be ahead of his man going into the post. And he wasn't comfortable because the double team came so fast, but he did find the free man.
Derek Anderson, 7 points already tonight. And now 14 for 14 from the free throw line in the series. As Hubie mentioned, 4th in the league from the stripe in the regular year, and we have a tie at 38.
Now they have Person playing Mark Jackson. So he's had 3 different guys play him tonight.
Miller.
Right, Knight, Anderson, and now Person.
Reggie Miller's turnaround and the rebound by Cedric Henderson. Miller scored 9 in the first quarter, yet to score here in the second with nearly 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
This looks like high screen and roll, and then they are in the corners looking for a 3.
Anderson trying to beat his man off the dribble. Kemp with the basket. Despite the low pass, Sean Kemp recovered well and now has 16 points in a huge first half for Cleveland.
Well, they dare you when you get down into the lane to leave Kemp. And if you just move a fraction, they put the ball right in his hands.
And the Cavaliers regain the lead, 40-38. Here's Smits, and Smits misses. But the rebound by Dale Davis. Reggie Miller doesn't make it. And all of a sudden, the Indiana Pacers, who were 67% in the first quarter, have cooled off shooting-wise here in the second. Under a minute and a half to go in the first half. Here is Ilgauskas. And now the Pacers look to tie it up.
Kemp wanted it over the back.
Miller misses a 3, knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Cleveland's ball with 1:16 remaining, as Reggie Miller, missing from the perimeter his last 2 times out, is 3 for 7 from the field.
Dick, that time the defender was right in his face. The rotator came right out, extended himself. The hand was right there.
Getting close to a minute remaining in the first half. 13 on the shot clock for the Cavaliers. And a mix-up as Anderson tried to get it to Person and throws the ball away. And Indiana will have another chance to knot it up.
See, with this group out on the floor, when Cleveland gets the ball, they got a fast break and get some easy baskets. Because you continue to go half court, you're going to have the turnovers because you're asking a point to do a lot.
Rose goes right around Cedric Henderson and beats him. 4 points for Jalen Rose, who kept the Pacers in the game in the first half of Saturday's game 2. A game in which the Cavaliers at one point had a 17-point lead. Here is Kemp driving to the basket. Sean Kemp puts the Cavaliers up by 2 with nearly a half a minute to go and a half.
Well, I tell you, the Rain Man might have had an up-and-down season during the year over 82 games, but in games 1, 2, and 3 in this series, he has stepped up real big.
Well, he's been there before with the Seattle Sonics, including the NBA Finals 2 years ago. Here is Mark Jackson beating Dale Davis, and Davis puts it in to tie it up. 12.6 to go, and the Cavaliers will be looking for the lead at intermission.
How about the pass? How about that pass off the double team? Right on the money.
Derek Anderson with the jumper, hits 1.3, and the Cavaliers are up. Anderson is a spark off the bench with 10 points and 4 assists.
Oh, he fouled him. What a bad play. Oh, my goodness.
Now, let's see if that is the second foul. That is the because that's the first foul in the last 2 minutes, so it will not be a shooting situation. Only the 4th team foul against Cleveland.
The ball is moved to half court. The ball is moved to half court, and now they have a shorter distance. It's got to be a catch and a shot.
Well, he caught him on Rose with the southpaw fling off the glass. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are down by 5 at the half, will take a lead as we get set for the Nike halftime report. A preview of the game coming up here on TNT between the Suns and the Spurs. Ike Austin, the Clippers, will join Kenny Smith and our man Ernie Johnson in the studio from Atlanta, coming right up. And welcome back to the revitalized downtown of Cleveland, Ohio, as the 1998 NBA playoffs continue on TNT, with the Cleveland Cavaliers facing elimination if they lose, holding the Indiana Pacers to only 15 points in the second quarter and leading 44-42 at the half. Now, Indiana's out shooting Cleveland. The three-point shot situation favors the Pacers. But look again at the rebounding. That has been the story. The Cavaliers have out-rebounded the Pacers throughout this series, despite the fact that they trail, and they're getting more points in the paint. So, Hubie, as we look at the numbers, Indiana's shooting well. Where have the Cavaliers improved over the first 2 games?
Well, first of all, Dick, only 6 turnovers, so naturally, Indiana's not out on the fast break. So Cleveland's got an advantage there, 8 points to 5. Then on second shot attempts, it's 6-0. So when you look at the easy points, it's 14-5. That's a +9. As long as Cleveland does not turn the ball over, everything will be fine.
Let's take a look now at the way the Cavaliers are getting some of those 26 points in the paint.
Now, here is a high screen and roll right up in here. You're going to see Derek Anderson come around. Now, once he comes into the paint, it's going to open up for Sean Kemp here or Person here. Now, they make the drop off to Kemp, and everything is beautiful. Now, watch Kemp's man come right up inside to help out. Now, this is there every single time they drive. They can go for the power move, or they can go for the three-point shot in that right-hand corner.
All right, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Mike, so far so good with the game plan. The team also executing it well. What concerns you most about the second half?
Well, I think the key here is that we've kept our turnovers down. We're at that 6-7 area, which is a good number for us. Now, that happened to us last game, and it skyrocketed in the second half. We have to continue to control the basketball, get more possessions for us.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Dick and Hubert.
And you remember, this is a veteran Indiana Pacer team, down by 11 at the half in game 2. Came back and won. Mark Jackson was the spark of the third quarter, hitting a couple of big threes. But I'll tell you what, for the Cavaliers, Hubie, Sean Kemp is having a gigantic game, and Derek Anderson scoring 18 of their 22 points in the second quarter. And there you see Kemp and Anderson 1-2 in the scoring for the Cavaliers. For the Pacers, Rick Smith with 16 points, and he's had a big shooting game, hitting 7 of 10.
For Chris Mullin in the first half, no shot attempts. Played 10 minutes, very few touches.
And Reggie Miller continues to struggle from the field, only 38% from the field in the series. Miller scored 9 points all in the first quarter. So Mark Jackson, along with Chris Mullin, Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, and Dale Davis for the Pacers. Ilgauskas guarding Smits. And he starts off the second half with his 18th point of the game.
Well, he's on fire. And, you know, you love Smits because he can hit the long jumpers. He can hit the medium jumper on the base. He can hook down inside in traffic, and he takes his time.
They go low to Ilgauskas, double team, Brevin Knight. And Ilgauskas misses. Knight appeared to have the shot on the penetration, but passed on to the baseline.
I was surprised on that pass because Ilgauskas had himself in a bad spot up.
Miller looking for Dale Davis. Now Kemp picking up Miller on the switch. They want to get Chris Mullin off. He tries the shot and misses, but the offensive rebound by Dale Davis. Mark Jackson has it deflected away. Miller puts up a three. He had a lot of time on the shot clock. And here come the Cavaliers in a tie of 44. Ilgauskas guarded by Davis this time. He's got some inches on him and tries to get it to Kemp. Kicked out of bounds. Last touch by Mark Jackson. Sean Kemp, 8 of 13 from the field. And maybe as important, he'll be only one personal foul because he's gotten into foul trouble in the series.
Yeah, big thing there is he's got to cut down on gambling. And also, Brevin Knight has got to stay in the game for big-time minutes in this half.
Ilgauskas with the hook shot misses. Indiana playing very tough defense, and that's what they did this year. Not only were they tough against three-point shots, all around tough D. And there is Jackson trying to back in on Brevin Knight. Illegal defense. That'll be a technical. That is the second call of that kind against the Cavaliers.
I think one of the major improvements in the Indiana Pacers is the fact that their defense, you know, their differential was 5th in the league at 6 a game. And then also their points against. They were 5th in the league there at 89. So you're right, Dick. They're underrated defensively. They're very difficult. They don't have, you know, great shot blocking throughout the entire season, but it's tough to get off a high percentage shot.
Kemp rebounds Jackson's three-point miss. Well, just about 2 minutes have gone by here in the third quarter. The Indiana Pacers leading the Cavaliers 2-0, trying to close them out on the road. And a drive by Henderson and a foul. A good drive by the rookie Cedric Henderson from Memphis.
What he did, Dick, he came out the screen, and when he saw his man shoot the gap, he faded right to the corner. Now keep an eye, and once he made that catch, he took it strong to the basket. You love to see that. But you're trying to tell guys, when they're coming in from that angle, get the two-hand, strong dunk.
Missed the first free throw, the 45th pick in the draft from Memphis, and played every game. Only Ilgauskas, his teammate, and Tim Duncan of the NBA rookies played in all 82 games this year. We're tied at 45 early in the third.
Anytime you get a rookie that can give you 10 points and shoot 48%,
he's got a good one. 4 rookies in all. Reggie Miller trying to find the stroke in this series and giving the Indiana Pacers the lead, and a shoving foul is called. And that will be against Mark Jackson, his first.
Well, Mark Jackson is not going to allow Brevin Knight to beat him off the dribble and then create. So that was a smart move. Mark is a very disciplined point guard, and you know he's not going to gamble. He understands how much he has to be on the floor.
Mullen is guarding Henderson. They get it into Kemp, knocked away, and it's changed. It is still Cleveland's ball with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cavaliers had their best record here at Gund Arena since the building went up. They were 27-14. And here is Henderson. Puts it through on a great pass inside from Ilgauskas.
See, he can send it down with thunder. You know, he's so quick and he's got great hop. That's why you hated to see him come in on that other baseline move and do a soft move.
We're tied at 47. Mark Jackson with a familiar runner misses.
Get it out.
Kemp with the rebound, has it into the hands of Brevin Knight.
There it
Puts
is.
the needle to Ilgauskas, is fouled by Chris Mullen. And the Cavaliers controlling the tempo of this game now.
See, they've got to continue to push the fast break. Indiana's a little slow getting back. Now, this is just a great pass down to the man out of bounds. Always what we tell you in the NBA, most dangerous guy with the clock down is the guy out of bounds. Took it in, gave it right back to him.
Ilgauskas now 0 for 3 from the free throw line. The Lithuanian, who was the 20th pick 2 years ago.
Well, he is a solid free throw shooter, Dick. He shoots 76 from the line. But he's still a little shell-shocked here this evening because of what Smits is doing offensively.
Cavaliers lead 48-47. We've had 10 lead changes in this game. Reggie Miller finds Mullen, and Mullen takes his first shot of the game.
Good call.
And it's going to be Rick Smits called for the shove, his second.
Okay, Danny Crawford's having a great game tonight. He was right on top of that, and he caught that low elbow in the back.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are playing their most spirited basketball other than the first half of Saturday's game. And here is Wesley Person, and he hits the jumper. His first points tonight. Person struggling, as we said, from the series. And what better time could the Cavaliers get if he can get going?
Well, the big thing here is, you made a point earlier, that he has not shot a foul shot, where the guy he's playing, Reggie Miller, is shooting 8 a game.
And Ilgauskas got his hands on it. Fight for the loose ball, struggled, and it's going to be Indiana's ball. But this is playoff hustle we are seeing down at the other end, with Indiana maintaining possession.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
Indiana Pacers, who have been sensational from threes.
They ran a stagger for Reggie.
And here is Rick Smits, short with it, and Brevin Knight pushing it up. It's a 3-on-2 break, and here is Henderson lays it in. And now the Cavaliers lead by 5. It's their biggest lead of the game.
Dick, it's there for them. It's been there all night long. And as long as Brevin can stay in this half and put on the afterburners, they're going to pick up some easy baskets in transition.
And Smits is shoved by Ilgauskas, who has a few words for the official. The Cavaliers have scored 7 straight points, and there have been impressive points for Cleveland.
Yeah, well, Ilgauskas is saying, I'm using my forearm, and Teddy Bernhardt just told him, yeah, but you rooted him out with your leg. That's the call.
That is only the first team foul against Cleveland here in this third quarter. Pacers already have 4, and we have a lot of time remaining, 7:35 in the third. Here's Mark Jackson finding Mullen. Mullen for 3. He's got it. Chris Mullen, who was brilliant in game 1 of this series, hitting 8 out of 9 for 20 points, brings the Pacers to within 3.
Well, Mark Jackson, that was such a difficult find because he made a turn. That's his 10th assist in this game. He put that right on the money to Mullen.
Knight with a short jumper. Ilgauskas fighting loose ball, and Indiana takes over. You know, he'll be that 3-point basket by Chris Mullen was only the second 3 tonight by the Pacers in 11 tries, so they've been cold from the arc.
But they're always dangerous. You know they are not going to stop taking the shot, and it's always going to be there because they're catching the Cavs in the rotations. And as the game goes on, the legs get tired, and you don't cover as much ground.
5 minutes gone by, off the hands of Miller, out of bounds. It is still Pacers ball. They'll have 11 seconds to shoot when we come back after a timeout. This is game 3. Cavaliers fighting for survival at Gund Arena as they lead the Indiana Pacers 52-50. Last touched by the Cavaliers.
We'd like to show you Mark Jackson at his best. Right now, he's backing down his man. Now, right here, you have Chris Mullen. His man is here, Henderson. Henderson's going to fake to come as a double-teamer, and Mark Jackson, as soon as he sees it, is going to launch the pass right there to Mullen. Now, keep an eye on it. See, there's the fake. Mark Jackson does a 360 right on the money. And when you give Mullen that much time, it's in your heart.
3-point story tonight, 2 of 11 for the Pacers. Their lowest thus far in 3-point shooting. But Mark Jackson, with 10 assists, has been double figures in assists in each of the first 3 games of this series. And they're going to call Cedric Henderson with the foul on the push on Mullen. That is just the second team foul on the Cavs.
Well, the referees tonight have been very consistent on the contact in the paint and also on contact on the dribblers.
Brevin Knight, who picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter, has stayed out of trouble since. And a turnover as Dale Davis couldn't handle the pass from Reggie Miller.
I give Sean Kemp a lot of credit that time. He played him on the top side. Anytime that you make a vertical pass on a post-up guy and that defender's on the top side, you have to thread a needle, Dick.
Well, look how the Cavaliers have indeed kept their turnovers down to just 6, as Mike Fratello told Craig Sager at halftime.
Plenty of time here now.
11 seconds to shoot. Mike Fratello yelling in instructions to his team. Here is Sean Kemp and Smits and Davis. That's Dale Davis all over him, and let's see who gets called for it. It appeared to be Rick Smits, and it's not. It's Dale Davis, his 3rd. So Dale Davis, the first Pacer to pick up 3.
Now, in games 1 and 2, Sean Kemp has had 6 shots blocked in games 1 and 2. In this game tonight, he's free. He's taking his time. He's splitting the double team guys. He's going strong, or he's getting fouled.
Remember, he told his team in '94, I was with the Sonic team that took a 2-0 lead, only to lose to lowly Denver in 5. So it can be done. You can be heavily favored, drop the first 2, and come back and win. And now he's trying to do it in reverse. Trying to be the underdog, down 2-0 and win. Mark Jackson going in strong against Brevin Knight. Fine play by Mark Jackson. And believe it or not, is only his first points of the game. Henderson comes right back. The tip missed by Potapico, who has come in, replacing Ilgauskas. And Indiana down by 1, looking for a chance to take the lead.
Well, that was just a quick sideline play. Unfortunate for Henderson that he couldn't send it down.
And Knight picks up his 3rd right here.
Now, right now, Knight he's saying that he got hooked. All right, he got hooked. Well, if you get hooked and the referee is behind you as the defensive player, he doesn't even see that.
Third team foul against the Cavaliers. The Pacers already over the limit. And Mark Jackson wants to get Brevin Knight in more foul trouble, it appears. Smith pops out over Potapico, and Rick Smith now with 20 points in the game, and Indiana is up again. They were down by 5, they're up by 1.
Every time they fake the double team off of Smith, they fake his leaving him, and they catch them going back to Smith, and Smith shoots and scores.
Time and time again.
Yes.
And Smith has just picked up his 3rd foul, so Dale Davis and Rick Smith each with 3. Brevin Knight has 3 for the Cavaliers. And on the line is Brevin Knight, the rookie from Stanford, who had a sensational year both in assists and steals. Want to remind you, coming up next, Game 3 from the Alamo Dome between the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs, the great Tim Duncan. Brevin Knight misses both, and that series is all even at 1-1. That's on TNT following our game.
Not only do you miss the 2 foul shots, but then you get a loose ball foul. You know, now you've complicated the situation. So going back to Smith's, Dick, he has 9 field goals in this game, 8 jump shots.
So he hasn't gotten many of them inside. He's had the touch tonight. Potapico picked up the foul, and Henderson nearly made a fine defensive play, but it's still Indiana ball with 9 on the shot clock. Mark Jackson looking for help. Potapico got a hand on it. 3 on the shot clock. Jackson's wide open, and he misses. And the offensive rebound by Dale Davis. And Davis is fouled going in. That was a key offensive rebound by Dale Davis, who's having a whale of a series.
Every bounce in this half is going Indiana's way. A strong move by Dale Davis. You know, in previous years, he would have gotten that rebound, turned around, passed the ball out. But you can see he wants to score, and you like that. In that situation, you're hoping that he'd get fouled and get to the foul line for 2 foul shots.
There was no foul. It's a jump ball. He was tied up. Dale Davis, by the way, he'll be 5 offensive rebounds in the game, the all-time leading rebounder in Indiana Pacer history. And they're going to call Rick Smith for number 4 as he knocks down Potapico.
Real big. Here comes Antonio Davis. Now keep an eye on it right there. Well, that was I wish. Well, let's face it, that was a little bit of a flop, okay? I mean, you're laughing about it. Rick Smith, as we go along through this game, will never get him to fall down that easily again.
You don't see me laughing over that.
Okay. I mean, it would be a different story if he hit him in the chest with a forearm and knocked him back.
All of Smith's 4 fouls have occurred here in the 3rd quarter as he goes to the bench. Kemp misses, and Person keeps it alive. Here is Sean Kemp from the perimeter. And Mark Jackson finally clears. So the Pacers, with Smiths on the bench with 20, have Miller, Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, Chris Mullin, and Mark Jackson, and a new 24-second clock for the Pacers on the kick ball.
Well, in the last 3 minutes, the Cavs are struggling. Nothing is coming easy at the offensive end of the floor for them.
The good news is they've been struggling, and they're down by only 1.
Good point.
Here's Miller off the screen, and Reggie Miller. The rebound by Cedric Henderson, and the Cavaliers looking to take the lead. We have had 10 lead changes in this game. Mark Jackson with a great steal, anticipating the pass from Anderson.
Great look.
Reggie Miller lays it in and caught the Cavaliers napping down court.
Well, a bad pass by Anderson. That was a careless play, and unfortunately for them, the one guy who can make the play is right there in your picture. He picks up the loose ball right down the floor, right on the money to Reggie. Now just keep an eye. He's surveying, and there it is. And now this is a nice catch. And look, watch, little fake. Get him out of there. Put it up easy.
The Pacers lead by 3. When we think about a coaching family, we tend to put Hubie Brown at the head of the table. But in all due respect, before Hubie made his name at Cranford Junior High School in New Jersey, there's a guy by the name of Rolly Massimino there.
Yes, that's where I started my coaching and teaching career under a great man named Bill Martin. After 3 years, I went back to my high school, and UB came in and took the teaching and coaching job.
You got the network working here in Cleveland. You're at Cleveland State. Mike Fratello's here, one of your guys.
Yes, one of my guys. Great guy, great city. I'm very proud to be here.
Let's go back to Dick and UB.
Flurry under the basket. And here comes a 3-on-1 break. Jackson feeding Chris Mullen. Basket by Mullen.
Isn't it incredible? When you miss the easy play, they score in a hurry. Rowley was a great high school coach in Jersey and Massachusetts. Got into college basketball. Chuck Daly's assistant at Penn. He went from there to Villanova to Vegas, and now here at Cleveland State.
And I think that you have to say that Rollie Massimino coached one of the great upset victories in NCAA basketball history when his Villanova Wildcats shocked Georgetown in 1985.
He's had an outstanding career. And, you know, he'll get it done here in Cleveland State. They just built a new building, a great practice facility, and Rowley's an outstanding X and O guy. It'll just be a matter of time.
Sean Kemp with the free throw. The Cavaliers have scored only 2 points since they took that 5-point lead, which was their biggest of the game, and now they're playing catch-up with 3:17 to go in the third. Got to remember, Indiana came on strong in the third quarter in game 2. They've done it here as well, leading by 3 with the ball. Kemp, by the way, with 21 points, is the game's high scorer. Jackson is guarded by Wesley Person.
Yeah, they like this matchup.
And they're going to call Person with the push. And that'll be the 15th foul. A penalty situation will send Mark Jackson to the line.
See, Mark Jackson doesn't mind whether this is Brevin Knight, whether it's Derek Anderson, whether it's Person. He's comfortable. He's going to back him down. Now, if you notice, no double teamer is coming. Now, you've got to keep that forearm right in the lower in the back, and you're not allowed to push out with it.
Mark Jackson from St. John's. He and Chris Mullen were teammates in college. Started his career with the Knicks, went to the Clippers, and now very solid here in Indiana. You want to know how many assists to turnovers he has in this series? Try 33 assists, only 3 turnovers.
He's having a great game, and you're loving it because he's never in a hurry. And guys like playing with him because once you're open, the ball is right on your hand when you are open. It's not late.
Under 3 minutes remaining in the third. The Indiana Pacers lead the Cleveland Cavaliers by 4. And now or never for the Cavaliers. Here's Ilgauskas. And he's fouled.
The big fella's got to come to life here. They need his offense. He's averaging 21 points in this series. He was a major force during the regular season. He's got to come out of his funk and understand that they need him big time.
7 points so far tonight for Ilgauskas and only 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Brevin Knight replaces Wesley Person, who continues to struggle from the perimeter. Person goes out, having scored only 2.
And with this young man on the line, when he was out for 2 years and they put 2 screws in his foot, he gained 35 pounds through weight training. He's also worked at the Pete Newell Big Man Camp for 2 summers, and he is, you can see, he's got all of the moves. Unfortunately for him tonight, he's a 76% foul shooter, and he's having a horrible night on the line.
3-point Indiana lead, 59-56. Travis Best has come in, and Chris Mullen with the layup attempt, and Kemp the rebound. So the Cavaliers down by 3, trying to cut the deficit, and with a move to the basket, and Anderson pushes Davis. Dale Davis and Derek Anderson, and it was Anderson that I saw push Davis first. Now, there might have been something before all that.
Well, what happened was when Davis dribbled on the baseline, he like loses control of the ball. And you're going to see this right here. There's the foul. And then as he bumps in here right now, Davis just, oh, well, come on. You see, you can't do that. You can't be pushing that way. All he did was just push you out of the way. You can't lose your control here. Henderson, they need you in the, Anderson, they need him in this game.
And the double technical foul.
Oh, that's good. That's all right.
No harm, no double technical foul.
Yeah, Larry Bird's happy, and also Mike Fratello's happy because both guys are staying in the game.
Derek McGee was called for the personal foul. So Anderson will go to the line. Pacers were thinking of drafting
Derek Anderson, who was kind of a confident, to say the least, guy coming out of Kentucky, but they passed on him. And the Cavaliers have two of their rookies of that ilk in Brevin Knight and Derek Anderson.
Well, a lot of people looked at it and looked at his knees, and they said, well, you know, he's going to struggle. Well, you know, he's proven that he does have the quickness in that, but he's got to prove it over years. Sidney Moncrief the same way when he came out of Arkansas, and look at how many all-star and all-defensive teams, and one of the really, truly great players that we had in the NBA. At Milwaukee, they gambled also.
That was a gamble that they won. Here's a turnover. And it was Henderson tonight.
You gotta hit it. You gotta hit it.
We listen to you, Hubie.
No, you can't pick up. See, if you pick up there, Dick, then you've got to hit the shot if they run away from you for your confidence.
Tied at 59, and they wish Wesley Person had that kind of confidence in the series. He doesn't. And they're going to have a shoving foul as Ilgauskas chalks up his third personal.
Now this is just good quick hands by Henderson. Henderson caused this. Now as Brevin comes out, you notice they run away from Brevin and they pick up the guys going for the layup. Well, that's when you got to step up and knock it down.
Dale Davis struggling from the free throw line this year, but down the stretch was his best as he connected on 15 of 21 in the month of April. Jalen Rose has replaced Chris Mullin, who goes out with 6 points. Rose has scored 4 tonight. Pacers take the lead again and are up by 2, 61 to 59, with 1:45 now remaining in the third quarter. Brevin Knight is playing with 3 fouls, guarded by Travis Best. Miller trying to deny Anderson. Here's Kemp working on McKee. Kemp finds Henderson with a great pass, swatted away. Let's see whether it was McKee. It was on the block. Great play by Derek McKee. And pulling up is Jalen Rose. Here come the Cavaliers pushing it up again, looking to tie once more. A feverish pace here in the third quarter of Game 3 here at Gund Arena. Cavaliers looking to keep the home court, which is the team that's been at home, has won every game this year between these two. 5 on the shot clock. Ilgauskas working against Dale Davis. Baseline turnaround, goes at the buzzer, and we're tied at 61.
That's what the big fella needs. He just needs a couple of hoops to get going here.
He's got 10 points in the game, under a minute to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, good call.
And
right.
Jalen Rose, I believe underneath it is Rose, and that'll be his third.
Yeah, that was a good call. Referee right on top of that. All's down on the baseline. Now this is Ilgauskas shooting that fade. And Dale Davis was right up in there. Put a lot of pressure on that shot.
Did you ask for the series so we could pronounce Potapako and Ilgauskas?
Yeah.
Did you make that call? The crowd, by the way, yells Z when he hits. They yelled Z before. Kemp double teamed. Kemp misses the layup. And the foul against the Indiana Pacers as Brevin Knight picked up the loose ball, and it'll be against Reggie Miller, and the Cavaliers will go to the line and a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, Sean Kemp got scratched that time on his left shoulder. He left that one short. He did go up strong. There was a lot of physical contact, and when it came down, that's when the foul occurred.
And it's Dale Davis, not Reggie Miller, and 4 now on Dale Davis, the top rebounder for the Pacers. Sean Kemp hitting the free throw now with 22.
Now, as we look at this third quarter, you know, Dale Davis and Smits, right? You know, they have really done an excellent job, Dick. And Dale has done a good job on Kemp. When you think about it, he has not been able to overpower and score a lot of easy baskets.
Keep in mind, Smits and Dale Davis each with 4 personal fouls, as does Antonio Davis have 4. So Indiana's big people in foul trouble. Dale Davis feeding McKee, misses the reverse layup. And let's see, over the top.
Yeah, good call.
It'll be Cleveland's ball with 14.8. Cavaliers lead Larry Bird's Pacers by 2, and a chance to add before the end of the third quarter. Cleveland led by 2 at the half after trailing by 5 at the end of the first quarter.
Now you've got to go at Kemp. I know McKee is a good defender, but you've got to. Oh, good.
Travis Best on the block.
That's unfortunate.
With 3.3 will send Brevin Knight to the strike.
Now this is just, you know, unavoidable. As he reached with his inside hand, his right leg came close and tripped Brevin Knight.
Brevin Knight, who is second in the NBA in steals behind Mookie Blaylock of Atlanta. 16th pick. He led rookies in assists this year. Very confident first-year player, and it's amazing that there are 4 rookies playing such important roles in a team in the playoffs for the first time.
Absolutely, Dick. And the big thing with Brevin, a lot of people thought he'd be a backup here. But when Bobby Sewell was injured early, he got all of the minutes, and he did a great job.
Final shot of the third quarter does not go, and the Cleveland Cavaliers finishing the quarter on the run with a 12-3 run, and Shawn Kemp having another big game. 23 points and 7 rebounds. So after 3 here at Gundarita, the Cavaliers lead the Pacers by a score of 65-61. All right, Ernie, thank you very much. We start the fourth quarter, and the Cavaliers holding the Pacers to 19 points in the third quarter after 15 in the second for the Cavaliers defense.
Dick, Indiana shooting 45%. They're 2 for 11 in threes. They've only been to the foul line 13 times. That's big because they've been getting 29 per game. Cleveland shooting 43, 29 foul shot attempts, and only 7 turnovers.
And make it 8 now because Derek McKee forcing the turnover off the hands of Ilgauskas. So the Pacers trailing by 4. They want to win, close out the Cavaliers, and get rest before they face the winner of the Miami Heat New York Knicks series, which is tied 1-1. And game 3 tomorrow night from Madison Square Garden in New York. Knight picked up on the switch. Anderson goes back tonight. Best stays with him. Travis Best at point guard. 7 on the shot clock. And Knight misses from the corner. Again, Brevin Knight not sure where to go with it. It's a learning experience, as he expressed in the beginning when we started this game, for a rookie to be playing in the playoffs against this kind of a team. And they're going to call Kemp with a foul. That is only his second personal foul tonight. He has stayed out of foul trouble. And now they've changed it. It's Henderson.
Yeah, it's Henderson down on Jalen Rose, down inside. Henderson is saying he hooked me to get free before the screen was coming.
Kemp goes out of the game. Patapico is in there with Ilgauskas, the 2 big men. And they're going to call Henderson with another one. That's 4 on Cedric Henderson. 2 in the last 10 seconds.
Now, it's only his 4th. You still have 2 more. He definitely rides him. Just keep an eye on the hands. He's got the hand on the hip. That's automatic, Dick.
Worst part of it is that's 2 team fouls on the Cavaliers with less than 2 minutes going by here in the 4th. Travis Best looking for Jalen Rose. Rose, big hero off the bench in game number 2. And has it slapped away, and it's off the foot of Rose. So Cedric Henderson with a big defensive play.
Now, if this is the first game that you've watched in this series, you know, you're looking saying, hey, what's the big deal about Jalen Rose? But he has been playing terrific. He's made a lot of things happen. He's averaging 12 points, but basically shooting 59%, and he breaks the defense down off the dribble. Now, tonight, Henderson has done a terrific job on it. Another bad pass.
Tipped away Miller with Knight back. And taking it away is Derek Anderson with a great steal from Reggie Miller. Knight pulls up, blocked from behind by Antonio Davis. Wasn't aware where the big guy was. So now the Pacers get it back. It is still 65-61. And there is Jalen Rose with a reverse layup. We have played more than 2 minutes here in the fourth quarter, and we have not had any scoring.
And they're going to bring Ilgauskas. Screen and roll. Screen and spot up.
They go the other way to Person. Wesley Person hits a 3.
They need that.
Oh, he has all 3 trifectas for the Cleveland Cavaliers in this series, and he has been dormant maybe until now. A timeout early here in the fourth quarter with the Cavaliers boasting their biggest lead of the game, 68-61.
The Cavs are up by 7, and I am with Brevin Knight's parents, Melvin and Brenda. Now, you're sitting here as a former player at Seton Hall watching him. shouting instructions. You got to get the ball to Wesley just where it's a 3. Do you have this connection with him?
Well, I think he understands the game well enough to know that in order for them to win this game, West has to be a big contributor. So he understands that West has to be brought into the game, and they just ran a good series for him just then.
You watched the first 2 games at home in New Jersey on TV. Was that tough watching those first 2?
Oh, it was very tough. But I told him tonight that I'm not ready to go home tomorrow. So he has to win one tonight for us.
All right, he's off to a nice start here. 7-point lead. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
Win one for the Knights.
Well, Mel was really a great player at Seton Hall. Played for Billy Raftery. Was also Billy Raftery's assistant coach.
So there's a lot of basketball in that family as Rick Smits with 22 points. He and Mark Jackson back in the Indiana lineup. Smits playing with 4 personal fouls. Person into the corner. Potapico passes up a shot. Looked like a pass or a hook. In any event, Indiana has it. 5-point lead. Here's Smits filling the lane and a foul. And he'll go to the line.
And now you have to be able to weather the storm here right now. This is a good split. You beat the double team, you come down, and you know that is Rick's favorite spot. Now, major issue in this game. In games 1 and 2, Indiana's bench far superior, scoring 32 points a game. Tonight, the bench has only 4 field goals in 17 attempts.
And Jalen Rose shooting 59% coming in is only 2 of 7 from the field, and he's been a key man off the bench. Žydrūnas Ilgauskas leaves with 4 personal fouls. Sean Kemp up front with Vitaly Potapico. Anderson, Person, and Knight. So 3 guards in there. A small team for Mike Fratello.
Well, Mike is only playing 7 guys. Bobby Sura played 1 minute in the first half. In game 2, Sura did not play. They went with 7 guys, and basically tonight that's what it's been. 7-man rotation.
Cavs by 3. And Person feeding Kemp. Great ball movement, but it was Wesley Person with the feed to Sean Kemp, who has 25 points. High score in the game. Rick Smits with 24 leads the Pacers. Here's Reggie Miller with the catch and shot 3. That is the familiar stroke of Reggie Miller, and he's got 16.
That time the defender, he hesitated on that down screen. Reggie reads defenses as well as anyone playing the game.
And he can take over a game if you allow him to. Potapico uses his body for the lay-in, and the Cavaliers lead by 4 with 4 minutes gone by in the 4th.
When you go in the paint, you can count on Indiana rotating and picking you up. So when the man delivers the pass to you, you've got to send it down.
Here's Rick Smits, guarded by Potapico. They repost to Smits. Double team with Person. Good ball movement, but Kemp stays with Reggie Miller. Sean Kemp with good defense, rotated well to Reggie Miller, and here come the Cavaliers, up by 4. Wesley Person, and he missed the 3. Antonio Davis with the rebound. Indiana held serve, winning the first 2 games of the series. Cleveland trying to get back in it with a win at home tonight.
2-man game.
Knight doing a good job against Mark Jackson. Smith with another popper. Trevor Knight winds up with it with 5 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter. Knight had a shot, passed it up.
Yeah, well, he's not confident in it, Dick. You know, he's not a guy that's going to force things. Now, if the clock was down, yes, he probably would have taken it.
7 on the shot clock. Potapico out, gives it back tonight, guarded by Smits, and a bad pass in the middle and another turnover, but he gets it back because of his quickness.
Yeah, there it is. You got to watch here now that you don't go back over the half-court line.
Jackson gets the foul as he tried to jar the ball loose from behind. That is only the 2nd on Mark Jackson, but it is the first team foul on Indiana.
Right now, a lot of contact going on the dribblers. Are you going to see right now? Now just keep an eye now. He almost stepped on that line. And there's the hit right there. Referees were right on top of that play.
Melvin on the left, Brenda on the right. The Knights out in full force. We'll be right back. And here is tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. And Hubie Brown earlier showed you on a telestrator the different ways in which the Cavaliers have been able to get more production in the paint. They've outscored the Pacers by 10 there. And the two big players, Smits and Kemp, both having outstanding games, Hubie.
Yeah, but we know, though, that the majority of Smith's points have all been on jump shots, Nick. He is, you know, he's stepped out. He's taken the defensive centers away from the glass, and he's done a terrific job this evening.
Ilgauskas with Cedric Henderson and Sean Kemp up front. Wesley Person and Brevin Knight, the guards, are now Derek Anderson in there. Ilgauskas with a jumper now has 12. 3 players in double figures for the Cavs, who had only 2 coming into this series. Kemp with 25, Ilgauskas with 12, Anderson with 11. And turnover off the hands of Davis.
Yeah, Reggie never should have made the pass. The man that was getting the pass had already been bumped. You know, you always say, don't pass the ball to the guy in the post until he calls for it.
Pacers not quite as sharp tonight as they were in games 1 and 2. And they're going to call Antonio Davis with the foul on Kemp, and that will be 5 on Antonio Davis.
Well, you have to keep working Kemp, mainly because he'll get the calls, and then it's going to be up to him to put him down. Now, right now, they catch him right there. They're saying that, see, that they said that he rooted him out with that forearm. Now, during the year, we all know that Kemp, you know, shot 73%, but he's got to step up here in the closing seconds out and play big.
Here's Ilgauskas working against Rick Smits, who has 4. Ilgauskas fights his way in and was fouled by Smits.
Sure.
That'll be 5 on Rick Smits as this crowd gets to its feet.
I know that the players appreciate this because there was an article in the paper here today about how the building is always so quiet. It's never a home court advantage for the Cavs. Now just watch now. The foul not there. They're not going to give him that one, but that's the one they're going to give him right there, right across the head.
And there are a lot of Indiana Pacers fans here at the game, as Craig Sager pointed out early. But the Cleveland fans have been loud, and they have been heard in what could be their last game of the year. Ilgauskas struggling from the line. I know you've been talking about how his free throw percentage has been good all year. He's now 3 for 8 tonight.
Well, the Cavs, once again, get to the line 31 times. They're 20 for 31, missing 11.
Well, the lead, however, is 7 points, matching the biggest lead of the game for the Cavs with 5:20 remaining in the fourth. Jalen Rose.
Now, Cleveland has Henderson on Mark Jackson now.
And that's the 4th guy to guard Mark Jackson. Yep. And there's a no-look pass to Jalen Rose, who hits a 3.
Well, that's big.
Jalen Rose, who had not been shooting well in this game. And Mark Jackson now with 15 assists. And now they call Jackson with the foul. That'll be 3 on him. And 14 fouls on the Pacers. So the next Indiana foul will put the Cavs on the line.
Now, Jalen Rose has been scoring 12 points a game in the series. He has not made a 3. That was the first make that he's had. And when you consider that he's been struggling tonight, that was a praising move. Right on the money.
Pacers have 4 from beyond the arc. The Cavaliers just 1. That by Wesley Person, who's been in a slump from there. Under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, knocked away by Miller. Last touch by the Pacers. So Cleveland has 11 seconds to attempt a shot.
Now, the last time that they posted up Person on Miller, Rick Smits left Ilgauskas and double teamed. They hit Ilgauskas. That's when he knocked down that jump shot. Plenty of time here.
Here is Kemp. Ducks underneath, has it blocked by Rick Smits.
Yep, good block.
Loose ball, and here comes Mark Jackson out of the pack. The 4-on-2. Jalen Rose picked up quickly. Cavaliers got back on D. Here's Smits.
It was blocked.
Out of bounds. Indiana ball with 4:27 on the clock. And this is a feverish playoff game in which survival is on the line for the Cavaliers. And the Pacers looking to wrap it up. You don't want to give the team hope and lose and let him get back in. Miller, fall away. He's got it. Very tough shot by Reggie Miller.
That was a sensational curl off the left screen on the left side of the lane by Reggie Miller. And on the catch, a very difficult fadeaway angle to hit that shot.
5 straight points
Just watch
by
it
Indiana.
right here. Whoa, what a shot. With the defender almost getting it.
So he'll be once again the Indiana Pacers with the 22nd timeout called. Very much back in it. They were down by 7. Now they're down by 2, 75-73. And you got to watch out for that veteran team against young players down the stretch with the series perhaps on the line.
Well, Dick, what you have is they have so many cannons. You know, and by that, you know, if it's not Reggie Miller, you know, it's Rick Smith. They can go inside with McKee. You got Jackson, right? You got Mullen. So it just keeps shifting around. And at the other end, you're somewhat limited to who you can go to in the half-court sets. So you're hoping for a lot of freelance in transition.
Now, the Pacers aren't the Bulls, but a team like this, a veteran team, knows how to win down the stretch. Here's Kemp. Turnaround by Kemp. Big basket. Big basket and a 4-point Cavalier lead. Under 4 minutes to go. Kemp with 27 matches his total in game 2. Jackson backing in against Brevin Knight. We've seen this many times. 5 on the shot clock. Jalen Rose tries to get it inside, and it's going to be Cleveland ball.
Good hands.
Yes.
Good hands that time. Jalen had no place to go. That's the Indiana's 16th turnover. He had no place to go. Good rotation by Cleveland. Brevin Knight got popped right in the mouth. You know, he's stunned a little bit here right now, but they need him to step up big and deliver the goods.
And those turnovers by Indiana are Cleveland numbers in the first 2 games. It's been different tonight. Wide open Brevin Knight with a jumper. He's got it. Kemp and Knight with 2 big jumpers and a 6-point lead with 3:20 to go, and Larry Bird wants a timeout.
Now, Sean Kemp put a very physical move on his defender to get open. Okay, then when the double team came, he just made a great diagonal pass. Now keep an eye on this. You see, they don't fix it. They're just leaving Brevin Knight, and they're saying, Brevin, you have to make the big one.
Cavaliers lead by 6 with 3:19 to go in the 4th quarter, and a whole load of action coming up tomorrow. First game on TBS at 7. Heat Knicks game 3. They're 1-1. First game on TNT at 8 o'clock. Hornets Hawks. Hawks trying to stay alive against Charlotte. Second game on TBS. Sonics and the Wolves, who upset Seattle last night. They're 1-1. And the final game starting at 10:30 on TNT. Lakers looking to close out the Blazers. There is the game reset. Cleveland with a foul to give, and the timeout story. Winding down to 3 minutes remaining. Ilgauskas over the back, and that is 5 on Zydrunas Ilgauskas. 4th team foul on the Cavaliers, so the next foul on both teams will result in the penalty.
No, they're not taking him out. I mean, we only have 3 minutes to go here.
Here's Jackson working against Brevin Knight. Smith's open. And he's been doing that since the start of the game. Rick Smith's with 26 points, and as you pointed out, most of those points coming from the perimeter.
Now, that was a breakdown, Dick, because 2 players, Ilgauskas being one of them, ran at the ball rotation and left Smith wide open.
Cavaliers lead by 4 with 2:37 to go. Kemp double team, loose ball, and they collapsed around Sean Kemp, and why not? Here's Jalen Rose, scoops it up, and Ilgauskas comes in and just snares it away from the Indiana Pacers. Boy, that was a ferocious attack on the ball by Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
See, when they come at Kemp, they're coming hard. They're going like a walk.
Traveling call against Sean Kemp.
Good call. He slid down in the lane.
2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Cavaliers, and Mike Fratello was worried about this. They didn't turn it over much early, but they've turned it over 6 times here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, but well, also what happens now is the physical contact gets much greater, and you know that they're going to allow more bumping now as we go home.
Cedric Henderson is on Mark Jackson. 9 on the shot clock. Anderson is on Rose. Smith setting a screen. Ilgauskas picks up Rose. And here's Jackson, fires a 3. And the rebound by Derek Anderson.
Anderson and Henderson are doing a terrific job helping Kemp and Ilgauskas.
And remember, they're both rookies. Crowd on its feet. A 4-point Cleveland lead, getting close to a minute and a half. 10 on the shot clock. Brevin Knight in traffic. And the foul is called, and it'll be a shooting situation as the Pacers are over the limit. And that will be Rick Smith's 6th personal foul, and he's out of the game, having led his team with 26 tonight.
Now, this is a big play.
26 points and 8 rebounds for Rick Smith, and he's fouled out.
Now, this is just a good move, and as Ilgauskas goes down inside, you can see Smith's put the leg out to stop Brevin Knight. Now, during the course of the year, Knight was an 80% foul shooter.
He is 2 for 4 tonight. Critical free throws with 1:26 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Cleveland, 3 timeouts. Indiana, 2 fulls and 1:20. Both teams are shooting the penalty.
Knight misses the second. It's 80-75. The Cavs by 5 with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the fourth. Indiana trying to close it out. The Cavaliers looking to stay alive. And Dale Davis on Jackson's great feed cuts the lead to 3.
That was beautiful. They used Reggie Miller as a decoy coming up the lane. And as Mark got down in there, that was just a pinpoint pass.
17 assists for Mark Jackson. They go into Kemp, and a foul against the Pacers. Dale Davis. And let's see, that's 5 on Dale Davis.
As Mark Jackson comes down into the lane, look to the left of your screen. See Ilgauskas, he made the move, but he didn't get his hands up. If you're coming into that area, you got to be big. You got to get your arms up to try to at least interfere with Jackson's vision.
Shawn Kemp, 7 of 8 from the line. As Hubie mentioned, if you go to the line 8 times, you're doing the job. He now has 28 points and 7 rebounds. He has played all but 4 minutes of this game, and he has carried this team on his massive shoulders tonight.
He's been very big. Main thing is, all throughout the series, that he's making his foul shots at 88, 89%.
And that's why they got him from the Sonics. Reggie Miller misses a 3 out of bounds. Cavaliers ball with 52 seconds to go, up by 5, and the fans here can smell survival.
Yeah, you got to milk the clock a little bit right now. You have to take your time, run good continuity, but you're trying to get high percentage, or you want to get on the foul line. But the big thing is, nobody's rushing here.
Cavaliers looking to extend the series to a Game 4 Thursday night here at Gund Arena. Here is Brevin Knight. With 5 on the shot clock, Kemp will have to put it up from outside. And hits. And that may be the one that breaks the back to the Pacers tonight.
This is just a good step back. It was interesting because he checked the clock. He saw he's inside of 5 seconds.
It is an 84-77 Cleveland lead with under a half a minute to go. 29.5 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. The Cavaliers once again matching their biggest lead of the game of 7. Indiana with 1 full timeout and a 20 remaining. The Cleveland Cavaliers have 3 timeouts left. And if this holds true in the last 30 seconds, the home team will have won every game of the 7 that they have played this year. But Chris Mullin in the game will inbound.
Now, right now, you have to be careful of three-point shooting. So what you want to do with the Cavaliers is switch all the ball crosses. They have Mullin in there, so they have all 3-point shooting.
Miller misses a 3, and the rebound taken down, and a foul on Person with 23 seconds to go. So they have the Mullins and the Millers in there, and the 3-point shooters, including Rose. But Reggie Miller tonight, 18 points. He's hit 2 trifectas. Rick Smith's fouled out with 26 points for Larry Bird's Pacers. And it looks like this series is going to be extended to a 4th game Thursday night.
Well, as we knew at the top, Mike Fratello was concerned. He was hoping to cut down on the turnovers. They did that, and by not turning it over, they took Indiana out of the transition fast break game that they were dominating. And also, they did a terrific job on the Indiana bench tonight.
Cleveland went to the line 37 times.
Consistent.
22 times more than the Pacers. Jalen Rose misses, and Knight gets the rebound, and now the clock will run out. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have won on their home court. They have survived to live another day. And the series now is 2-1 in favor of Indiana. And this crowd on its feet Shawn Kemp with 31 points in 44 minutes. Unquestionably the hero for the Cavaliers tonight. The final score, the Cleveland Cavaliers 86, the Indiana Pacers 77, and this will be a big boost to the confidence of this young Cavalier team. And Brenda Knight and Melvin Knight, watching from the stands, finally have something to cheer about in this series. Let's go out now to Craig Sager.
Well, Sean, Hubie was talking all night about how consistent you've been throughout the series. Dick just mentioned all but 4 minutes of the game. Are you tired after carrying the team on your back?
I feel pretty good. I'm a little tired, a little exhausted, but, you know, it's do or die tonight. You know, if we lose the game, we go home. So we're trying to keep things alive. Even though we're a young ball club, we're going to keep things alive. Can't make it too easy for Indiana. And I thought the guys all played well tonight as a team. I helped in my little bit, and it was a good game.
Not only the leader on the court, but you also spoke to your team, told them about the situation, your past experience with Seattle losing to Denver. What factor did that play?
Well, I think it challenged the guys is what it did. I challenged them to come back out and play tonight as Denver did to us a few years ago when I was back in Seattle. And I thought the guys, they came out and played the bus off.
You've been in the playoffs before, but never with 4 rookies. What's your impression of how they're maturing in the series?
Well, I think they're maturing fast, but I missed the glove a little bit, though. I tell you that. I missed the glove.
That, of course, is Gary Payton. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. And so, sparked by Shawn Kemp's 31, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Indiana Pacers 86-77, 2-1 Indiana lead. We'll be back with a final word in just a moment.